Today we're going to review this 200 watt Mellif power inverter. Welcome to ToolSpecs. So today we're going to review this 200 watt Mellif power inverter, and we're going to test it powering up lights, TV, an aquarium, and also charging up a phone. This Mellif power inverter comes with a 120 volt 200 watt outlet. It's 200 watt of running power with a 400 watt peak. A USB-A port. This is a 5 volt 3.1 amp. A USB-C port, which is 5 volt 3 amp at 20 watts. It also have a LED light. It is compatible with DeWalt batteries. This unit is sold as tool only, but if you don't own any DeWalt batteries, you can also get Mellif batteries. We're now going to test what we can power up with this 120 volt plug. And then to test the USB-A and USB-C, I get this digital tester for testing USB, and that's going to tell us how accurate those readings are. There is a few safety feature built into that inverter. So if the battery gets down to 14.4 volt, the inverter will shut off. Also, if it tries to pull more than 23.4 volt out of the battery, the inverter will also turn off. To run the LED light, you have to power on the unit. And then after it's power on, then you can flick the switch. At the beginning, when you first turn it on, you'll hear the fan running, and then it'll come down just to test the fan. And we're powering up the LED. It's fairly bright, even though there's only one LED cell into it. Now we're gonna power up those two lights up here. So we have our inverter power up. We're gonna plug those lights in. Good job, the lights are not flickering. Now what about if we want to power up the 65-inch TV? You can hear the fan just turned on, so it's a little bit loud. Let's see if we can play something on YouTube. As you can see, there is no line going across the screen. It's nice and crisp. Let's see if it affects the sound. No, there's no interference into the sound from the inverter. Everything's playing nice as it should be. The only thing I have to say is that the inverter fan is loud, but if you're concentrating on what you're watching on TV, you might not even notice. Here I have a 90-gallon aquarium with trophius, so they're African cichlids. They're red rainbow trophius from Lake Tanganyika. We're gonna see if we can run this canister filter. So canister filter, we shouldn't have no problem running this, because usually they're about 20 to 26, 28 watt. And this being a 200 watt inverter, shouldn't have no problem running this. The only disadvantage that I find with this inverter is there's only one outlet. If I would have two outlets, then I would be able to run my second canister as well. To see if the canister is working, you see the ripple in the water at this end around here. So now if I unplug this canister filter, first of all, it's not as noisy and the ripples are gone. We're gonna plug in our canister filter and the ripples are back. So we're able to run our canister filter with this power inverter, no problem. Now if you have a power outage and you're keeping lots of fish, like a overstuck fish tank like this, you're gonna know that you just have a few hours before you run out of oxygen, and then you're going to start losing fish. So this is very important to keep the water agitated at the water surface to do the oxygen and gas exchange. So getting a little inverter like this as a backup is a really good idea. Now let's test the USB-A and USB-C. We have a phone here. This is at 75% charge. First, we're going to test the USB-A. We're just going to insert that in here. Now this is powering on. It's telling us our voltage. There's no amp right now because we're not actually powering up anything. So we're going to grab our cable with USB-A and plug this in. And we're going to plug the other end into our phone. And then we're going to see those numbers will start to go. Okay, so our phone started to charge now. It says 31 minutes until fully charged. And we're actually pulling 1.6 amp and 14 watt. Actually 9.16 volt. Now we're going to test our USB-C port. Put the tool into it. Plug in the cable at one end. Plug in the cable at the other end into the phone. Now it's starting to charge. Tell us 29 minutes until fully charged. And the number that we have for that USB-C is actually 9.35 volt, 1.6 amp, and 15 watt. So not quite the same reading that we're having here. That doesn't mean that it cannot push 3 amp hour or 3.1 amp hour, depending if you're on USB-A or USB-C. Usually this is the maximum rating that it can push. And what's happening, it's depending of the device that you're trying to charge. This will also control how much power is inputting into the device. Usually as the battery started to be more to the maximum of its capacity, it will slow down the charge. And as it's more depleted, it will ask for more power. So now if the phone would be 50% or 25%, we might have different reading on this. But this is a test that we'll have to do another day. Let me know in the comment below, do you own any power inverter? What size are they? What brand are they? I think that everyone should have one at home. Like, it doesn't matter if it's to charge your cell phone during the power outage or power up your TV so you have something to do, or if it's just to try to keep some fish alive. Alright, let me know what you do with your power inverter. Alright, we'll see you in the next video.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks.